subjects all you are. C'est la vie, le temps c'est moi. I am the state of subjects all you are. Divine right. We fuckers, we two big hookers. I've got divine right. I've got divine right. I am the state. I am the state. Thought you were not. You think you are not. You think you will be not. Le temps c'est moi. I am the state of subjects all you are. C'est la vie, le temps c'est moi. I've got divine right. 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 I am the state. I am the state. Thank you. Some more keys. Bit more keys. I've got to take this jacket off before my fucking mum kills me. Take that bloody jacket off. Bleeding bloody maggots. She doesn't sound like that. I don't know why I'm fucking... Right. This is a little ditty called Ballad of Winston Smith. Hoodwink society, hang the Manson family, fox hunt the refugee, for the real man to see. Is it right to think you're wrong? Is it right to sing this song? Calling for Satan's dread, that he told me us and them. Darkness seems to take its hold over both the poor and old. Men and women work to death, a life of lies, there's no green grass. Hoodwink society, hang the Manson family, fox and the refugee, for the real man. is still. She makes me want to be alive, taught me how to live and die. I feel so helpless all the time, a roll of thunder, she might cry. I go now to dig a hole, bury myself in the earth. Bury myself in the earth. Hoodwink society. Thank you. We're going to move over to the guitars now, so please excuse the awkward silence. Alright. When the man comes, I suppose. This is a new one. It's called I Want Gold. You right, Zach? So long as my name is just stick between your teeth like a caught barbed wire, I'm gonna take every drug and make it higher, right to the top. I will never stop. Did we advertise this as an acoustic event?
Fucked up again. Full bass. More in, mate.
I remember when I think we might have played like a clothing store or something, and they said, "Oh, will you come down and do an acoustics, set for us?" I said, "Yeah, of course we will." Anyway, when they saw us getting a fucking drum kit out of the van, they were not fucking impressed. Protect and serve with a couple of fatalities. Being here for years, getting away with a target in the youth and a opponent as my prey. Target in the youth and a opponent as my prey. Manipulate the truth. Eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Yes, it's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Did you not know that it's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth? All right. Let's take it down a notch. Give my sweat glands a rest. The boy gazes all about. He is the center of orbit. He is the center of town. He's the center of the trees and the granite buildings in the 1960s. Concrete bridges and the factories. They were making electric fridges. He is the center of nature. Not just the seagulls that spiral, but the salmon of Alaska. And they spin, 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 spin. Someone got Katie a tissue. The king cobra is hypnotized, and the dogs they lay with dumbness in their eyes. He is everybody, he is he, and he is she, and he is the teacher, the poet on the street, all looking up, all feeling at one, but completely out of touch with the world. We are the neighbors that will never meet in a world that says fuck continuity, and fuck you, and fuck me, and fuck the salmon of Alaska. So the boy considers his prospects, considers his route, but he's a world of walls and cameras and censored floors. We live in a generation with memories so short, memories which we choose to abort, because it is easier to forget and to contemplate on what we saw. Yes, yes, it is much easier to forget than to march our feet up to their doors. The doors of those who stand on inherited lands and say that you cannot have. It is his to have, it is hers to have, it is ours to have, and I'm gonna spin, 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 spin. So the boy starts to dream. Dream of a world in which he, she, me, and the salmon of Alaska are free. Free of those who sit in their golden baths, free of those who have the last goddamn laugh.
Beautiful as always.
Another new one for you, I think. Yeah.
Fucking hate that.
I'll have a go.
Did you get that video?
'cause something wicked this way comes. Themselves. Thank you. I do appreciate that the people at the back can't really see what's going on, so cheers for your patience. But I'll be on the guitar very soon. This is called Circle Song. I'm thinking so how all of my heroes always die young, and if not for his own gun, he got caught on the funny bone. You know I feel so alone, and in all my dreams I see 1,000 futures grow. How I wish to find my way back home on my own. God, you know the pen is the sword, and if not for Bowie, who'd know about the Norfolk Broads? How I wish to find my own sweet Lord, maybe abroad. Daylight, winter time daylight. How long have I been going around in these circles tonight? Perhaps I flew too close to the light. Quiet, 'cause I don't waste words. Where lies the secret, you ask? It flies with the birds, forever doomed to sing unheard. I thought I could be the one that flew the nest, the one that could be free, but more wrong I could not do. rat or a moaner? John's favourite word, both. Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Say, hey, look, it's in a book. I'm reading a rainbow. I'm reading a rainbow. amongst the bars. A painful pain evolves in every hour. Pollution and poison, a dying race. Oh God, he doesn't want to see the end of day. Yeah. Come together, we need each other. Come together, let's be one another. Come together, we need each other. Come together, put your arms on my shoulder. Hand in hand, steady breathing the lines of choosing flaws that never fall. There are happy mouths, they swallow their dope. It's so clear in their minds that this is what they have chose. But what if you close your mouth? And what if you chose to spit it out? Come together, we need each other. Come together, put your arms on my shoulder. Come together, we need each other. So Johnny spits it out. And from his empty mouth he says, the rats are everywhere, but how many cages? The rats are everywhere, but how many cages? The rats are everywhere, but how many cages? The rats are everywhere, who they go? Come together, we need each other. Come together, put your arms on my shoulder. Come together, we need each other. Gotta get through. Anyway. Some of us want to fucking get home tonight. It's all getting a bit karaoke in here, isn't it? We're gonna play we're gonna finish with a banger. It's called Brave New World.
Keep getting.
Put your line down, Marcy.
Aww.
Well, we had it recorded, and you know, they gave us the files and said, you know, you might want to listen to this. It's pretty fucking good. And so we gave it a listen, and you know, we wouldn't put anything.
Shame on you!
It's like the fucking Archers.
Give her a mic.
Fucking hell, John.
You're doing a great job, though, lads.
Fucking good Q&A, this.
Missed a bit.
There's always one in there.
Anyway, cracking chat, lads. Anyway. God bless you. Right, come on. You're not getting away with this. Is this a stopgap? Because that's what often live albums are.
Yeah, so you know, we did it back, and we wouldn't put anything out if we didn't feel like, you know, it wasn't necessary. You know, we're very proud of all the work that we do, and anything that goes out there, you know, we want to, you know, we want it to be as quality as.
Grindle, I can hear you from here. Shut the fuck up. Fucking Inspector Gadget.
He's got his coat on.
Can we move on?
Yeah. Do you actually like? Are there any live albums that you actually like? Because I can name like 2 or 3. I struggle with them.
So there's a beautiful live album
called
by
Live at
Nick
the
Cave and
Ritz.
the Bad Seeds. It's the KRCW.
St. Paul Mines, live in the City of Light.
There you go.
Legendary.
That's another one. Yeah. And so, you know, they really have a real nice spin to them, and you know, I think they're definitely worth. I mean, we like listening to our favourite artists' live albums, so you know, we wanted to do that.
Yeah. And how messed about with it is it?
Very little. It's literally just mixed and mastered. So you know, some guy's gone in and said, "That needs to come up, that needs to go down." It's what you hear is pretty much how it was played, and I think, you know, some people who was at the Ritz will.
And me.
Yeah.
There is that worry about them sometimes. That
Sure,
someone's been
sure.
diddling around with them.
Yeah, no. No, we sat in the room with the guy who mixed it, and you know, basically said exactly that. You know, have it as it is. So.
It's got less sweat though.
Oh yeah, lots less stuff.
The cotons are coming out again, aren't they? Bloody Nora.
The reason you picked this venue is because the chef was amazing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
Now, why bother with this? Most people would lay on a party, lay on some drinks. Here's our album. They don't tend to do photo exhibitions. They don't tend to do 2 shows in one day. They don't tend to do this to keep it nice and tight. Why? I tell you what, I'm going to ask Matt this. Why? Why? Because you're not taking the easy way out here. You're making life, in a sense,
Tell me
difficult
about
for yourself.
Yeah, it was very stressful and we're never going to do it again. Glad you asked me, because if you asked Tommy, he wouldn't know, because he didn't turn up till 4 hours after leaving.
Not listening. Mac is his note roll. Well, again, Mark knows the chef's amazing, so it's.
No, it's. I mean.
Where the fuck is this guy?
Is he a chef?
No, we want to know now. Buy my food.
This is car crash.
Go on. So why have you laid it on? Because you didn't need to bother. You could have just, hey, let's have a party, let's get pissed. But you laid on the art, you laid on the installation upstairs, you did 2 shows. Why?
It's all down to Sam Crowson, the guy that does our Yeah, Sam Crowson and our manager Mark Payne, they them to between themselves organised all of this and put it all in place, and we were the hands basically. So.
Well, we felt it was important to do, because you know, it's a big cycle of our lives, isn't it? You know, like
Of course,
making Columbia was an incredibly important part of our lives. You know, not just as people, but obviously it's your debut record. You know, so then when we'd come up with this Live at the Ritz sort of concept, and we thought that it would tie, you know, the whole album cycle off really nicely. So in a way, it's sort of saying goodbye to you know, that sort of period. And
yeah, that was one of the things about the photos kind of thing. The photography is, Sam was always had this massive photography, especially the behind the scenes sort of stuff, which people don't necessarily see a lot of the time. So it seemed like a perfect opportunity to, you know, celebrate the album, you know, Columbia itself, celebrate the Live at the Ritz, you know, which is our biggest show today, etc., etc. But also, you know, showcase Sam's art and actually try and bring Columbia upstairs. You know, the idea to bring Columbia to life a little bit more than we've been able to do in the live show. You know, we're always trying to sort of develop that concept, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity to try and to really develop it, you know.
Now, before I asked you if you were to say to somebody, you must look at that picture, that's my favourite picture, and I asked each of you which is your favourite picture. This time I'm going to ask you which is the picture where you go, oh God, I look like a dick in that, but it's a good picture.
That one of Charlie.
Aww.
I always pick that one as well, to be fair, so
Probably the ones where we're smoking, like my mum's here tonight, she's like, fucking smoking again, probably
Right, so we touched on this before, but I don't think we quite got to the bottom of it, really. That where are you at now? Because things could go either way for you, really. You could go, right, there's that band who did that fantastic album and did that fantastic debut and did those fantastic tours, and then didn't fully realise the potential that everybody was perhaps laying on them. So potentially there's a lot to fuck up here, isn't there?
Sure, yeah. Well, you know, like everything in like everything in life, you know, you put your heart and soul into something. We very quickly, you know, when we started the band, and we very quickly realised that this is the only thing that we want to do in life. You know, there is nothing else on this planet, in this universe, that we want to dedicate our you know, hearts to. So in that sense, I don't really think there is anything to fuck up, because it's at the bottom of it, it's a way of expressing yourself and being able to, you know, paint the canvas. But at the same time, you know, I think we've got a few tricks up our sleeve that'll impress some people. So yeah.
With that in mind, then, a question from the floor. Columbia had a theme or concept. Will the second album be similar in that regard? Who asked that?
Oh, good one.
Who asked that? Good on you. Nice question.
Yeah, so I've got quite shallow imagination. We found it very easy to write from a perspective of something else. So if you approach a song, then you know, you don't write that about one's own life. You know, you write that in character of something else. And we found that very easy to then tie up the first album. You know, we went in with maybe half an album written, and then suddenly when we started to develop this concept of Johnny Dream and Columbia and a dystopia, then we suddenly found it very, very easy to you know, write songs around that. And so I think everything that we'll do will always have these characters and all these narratives and things like that. So I think naturally that's just the way that we write songs. So the answer is probably yes. There'll be some sort of loose concept.
Do you feel, and this is for all three of you, same as we did before, do you feel a lot of expectation upon you? Because I've been writing about music for a very, very long time, and I've seen a lot of bands come and go who promised me great things and let me down. Are you going to let anybody down?
Don't be silly.
No pressure. Get it. Shit, I
He's let me down saying that, baby.
Yeah, money we put into this, lad, they better not fuck.
No, I think we're quite fortunate in the way that, you know, it's not like we've had like, you know, ridiculous amounts of money put down. You know, it's not like we've kind of got the, you know, the label saying to us, you've got to go on like a radio one hit. That's not kind of the case. You know, and I think we're quite fortunate. We're kind of a fan base who are quite receptive to, you know, new stuff, etc., etc. So I think the pressure we put on ourselves is not external, but it's quite an internal kind of thing. And we speak about it in one of the pieces on the walls about the first album, where the first album pressure wasn't really external pressure. Wasn't the record label going, where's the big hit here, or you know, it wasn't us going, we need to sell out this venue. It was kind of, we want to live up to these first albums. You know, we want to live up to the Arctic Monkeys' first album. We want to live up to this and that kind of thing. And these are the albums we've grown up with. We want to live up to that. We want to do this and this and more. And you know, so even now going forward, it's a bit like, you know, you sort of start with, you know, whoever, you know, as a producer kind of thing. It's not like we start there going, like, how do we write a big hit here? How do we make ourselves big and famous and sell out the arena, whatever. It's more, how do we write an album that's going to stand the test of time, and you know, that we'll be happy to put our names. You know,
Yeah!
And if we're happy to do that, then if people like it, people like it. If they don't, you know, that's fair enough, but at least you're proud of it, you know.
So speaking of albums, different ones hopefully than this afternoon, because I'd ask you, tell us about a record that perhaps people wouldn't necessarily expect you to like or have been an influence. So I asked you for 2 at least. Matt, give us another one. Tell us another album that might surprise people that you really like. That's an influence.
Here's one. Scissor Sisters.
Good fucking
That
album.
fucking debut is phenomenal.
Amazing.
It's insane.
It's actually incredible.
Fucking insane.
Let's have a kiki!
Let's have a kooky.
Lock the doors.
Thanks!
Are you pissed?
Another one?
Yes, a record by a band called the Amazing Snakeheads, who the frontman recently passed away, but I think his music will be around and accepted and received as, you know, one of those great fucking records of the noughties for some time, or sorry, the tens if you like to call it. But Dale Barkley's Amazing Snakeheads, Amphetamine Ballads it's called. It's absolutely fucking wonderful, and if you've not taken the time to listen to it, then please do, because it will blow your mind, seriously.
Okay. One more?
I try and dip into as much as sort of electronic as I sort of can, and I think Tom York's last album is kind of perfect for people who maybe aren't into that kind of music, but, you know, a Radiohead fans, for example, or, you know, indie fans. It's quite a great example of, I mean, that album is
I think
fabulous.
that's awesome. It's absolutely
yeah.
fucking incredible.
There you go.
I hate Radiohead. I hate Radiohead shit.
Whoa.
Whoa, hang on a minute. Whoa.
Sorry.
Get him out! Get him out!
Humour it, you just bought some art. Humour it.
Oh, there we go. There's that.
Well, that sums it up.
Why don't you? Security, Rick.
So, logistically speaking, what happens now? So you're doing this show today. What is happening next week, next month, either side of Christmas? After that, what can people expect?
Well, just keep on keeping on, really. But you know, we're always writing, and I think we've got a second album's worth of songs that we're currently tailoring and finessing, and so the next year is, I think, going to be quite a big year for us personally, and also, you know, trying to step it up a notch and you know, really live up to expectations. You know, the difficult thing about the first record was we set ourselves such a high goal, if you like. It's a bad word, but you know,
That's a good word.
sure. And you know, so that was really difficult to try and live up to that. But I think now we know exactly where we're at, and we know who we are, and you know, we know what we would like to be. And so the next year we've got something really special planned. So.
So it's good, I think obviously in the short term as well, you know, there's generation to fight. I think, you know, next couple of weeks we'll try and fight that.
Register to vote!
Question from the crowd as well. You get the most individual questions, man.
Why is that surprising?
I'll explain later. You seem to just stare when you're drumming. What are you thinking about when you are drumming?
Fucking.
Nothing, actually. It's fucking John Hall. I think about John Hall, that's what I think. No, I genuinely don't. My mind is just blank. I pick a spot in the crowd or a face that either disturbs me or excites me. So I just stare at that and my mind goes blank. I genuinely don't think about anything. My just hands move, my legs move, and just play.
I'm looking at the crowd here, and I have a theory about the best way to be successful with music now, which is to be pan-generational. Therefore, the oldies and the youngies both get it.
Yep.
And looking at the crowd here, it seems to bear out that theory. How hard is it, though, to monetize what you are doing? How difficult is it?
In terms of that sense, it's always been a bit of a... The Rich Show was a big changing point in that. You know, we've always had that... even going to, like, you know, our friends' gigs and You know, bands like the Moonrunners, etc., etc. It's always that you go to these gigs and it's full of, you know, 40, 50-year-old blokes kind of thing. You know, I mean.
What's wrong with that? You got
Let the man finish, let the man finish. Fucking hell.
Can't wait for no man.
But it seems that this sort of generation, the first people to get these sort of, you know, political bands, I think it's because they've gone through that sort of Thatch generation, blah, 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 and they've seen these young bands now come up and gone, we need these, you know, we've gone through the punk generation originally, and then I've seen bands like ourselves who have had generation after generation of false promise, you know, the Blair years, etc., etc. And have gone, fuck it, we're fed up now, you know what I mean? Blair came in and said things are going to be better for the working class, and they never got better, etc., etc. And now, so, you know, bands like ourselves came through, you know, Idols, like, you know, all these bands that people mention kind of thing. And, you know, and it takes a bit of a while, I think, longer for the kids to kind of get into these bands. I think it takes maybe that hit single or, and the Vits was
Don't
that
be
first.
silly.
Well,
Catch up, kids.
but it does seem that way, you know, maybe it's
15
the 60s music sort of crowd or whatever, you know.
Yeah, Radio Smug. Yeah.
Yeah, but and it just seemed that the bit shows the big change up when we sort of walked on stage and gone, fuck me, there's all the 16-year-olds here. You know. Really?
Fucking John Hall. Fuck's sake.
Now then.
Only you were thinking that in this guy.
Oh my god.
What a silly one.
We didn't have this in the afternoon, did we?
It was civilised. We had a woman who got tea, we had sandwiches, we had
So nice. There was classical music playing, it was so nice. We had joss sticks and everything. It was beautiful, wasn't it? Right
You
then.
just hear this in the background, slowly coming.
Right, last one then. I tell you, like, I've had a smashing day today with you lads. You've been really, really
Likewise, mate.
nice.
It's been a pleasure.
You've been really
Awesome day.
smashing. Tell you
Yeah,
what,
it's for Dave anyway.
you haven't heard my last question yet. And this is absolutely true. I had one of those slightly panicky dreams. You know when you've got to do something the following day and you have a dream about it and you panic a little bit? Do you have those?
I have it quite a lot when I dream that I'm on stage and it'll be like a big gig and Tom will just start playing songs I've never heard before.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Like, I had a gig once with supported Oasis at Nebworth and it's like playing Blur colours. And I'm there going, oh shit. And I had that quite a lot.
Can I just say, you've also come up to us at about 3 o'clock in the morning one night and gone, come on lads, are we getting on stage or what? I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Come on, we've got to be on stage in 5 minutes.
Canal Street, eh?
Canal Street, eh?
My one was that I was coming to see you and I was trying to find the venue, and I have to say, I asked you a couple of questions and every time I asked you a question you disappeared. This is my dream. You were really nice, but you were dead sarky. But
No way.
the point is that when the venue that I was at, it wasn't here. It was at a stadium that doesn't exist at the back of Ancos. So that was my dream. That this was happening at a stadium and not here. So I have to ask you, how far do you think you can take this, or how far do you want to take it?
Top of most of the pub.
Yeah, it's just not something we think about, you know. We could make this elaborate answer, but yeah, I'm sorry, it's just not something we really think about. It's you know, we take everything as it comes and ride the wave, you know, as far as it will lead us. And if this all, you know, ended up in smoke tomorrow, then I don't think we would be, well, we would be upset about it, but I think we could hold a ZI and say, you know, we've had a fucking good crack at it, you know. But you're damn fucking right with that spreading on stadiums, isn't it? Yeah.
So we need to build one at Ancos, don't we? The Blinders Memorial Stadium. Fantastic.
Who's Donny
Donny Dome.
Donny Dome, hey, yeah, got Donny Dome.
So Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Right, so
Don't
just
go on
finally, it's been a cracking day today. I'm sure there's lots of stuff still at the back there that needs selling. It's not going to sell itself. That stuff. It needs your presence to do that.
Everything's available on the website as well. So if you don't feel like it today, then whatever. But they'll be all.
Please find some.
Something's going to make it all worthwhile.
And on that bombshell, give it up for to find out.